the 204-1 fall. Introducing first, from Amarillo, Texas, weighing in 190 pounds, the young gun, Chandler Hopkins.
Russo, Summer of Champions is right around the corner, and I can guarantee you that Chandler Hopkins is hoping to make that date, especially with a television championship match possibly on the line for him here today.
This has been Chandler Hopkins' dream and goal since day one of being here at the Reality of Wrestling, and that dream can certainly become a reality starting today.
By few, hated by many, but respected by all.
And his opponent, from Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 207 pounds, the genetic nightmare, Mike
Anthony is someone who has been making quite the impact here at Reality of Wrestling ever since his surprise debut at The Last Stand, Russo. Do you have any opinions on this man?
I love most things out of Memphis, okay? Jerry the King Lawler, Penny Hardaway, 3-6 Mafia, okay? But right now, Mike Anthony, he scares me a little bit, and I mean that in a good way, because he is a fearsome competitor who's got a lot to show and a lot to prove. Makes it very dangerous.
Well, you talk about him being scary. I think he's got more veins that he can pop than I have fingers here in my hand. And to me, that's impressive as all get out, because it just goes to show how dedicated he is to his game. And that's why they call him the genetic nightmare. As we're getting things started here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, with more action at the Reality of Wrestling, this is a #1 contenders match for the television championship, which currently is held by Clay Roberts.
Yeah, it's a really interesting situation going on between Eric Lockhart and Clay Roberts. I wonder how that's gonna kind of figure itself all out between now and Summer of Champions 10.
Hopefully we've got an update for you here in the coming weeks, as these two, right out of the gate, are doing a test of strength with that collar and elbow tie-up, but Mike Anthony seems to have gotten the best of it as he's trying to go for a suplex here, but Hopkins able to break free. Ooh, and there's that power on display.
Mike Anthony is a former Memphis Wrestling heavyweight champ. Oh! So he comes with great credentials, but the young gun, he's got a few tricks up his sleeve.
Well, you want to talk about the power of Mike Anthony. Let's talk about the speed of Chandler Hopkins. This man is the young gun for a reason, and he is going all over Texas! And right there is what we call a star over Texas.
A lot of great professional wrestlers have come out of Amarillo and West Texas throughout history. Chandler Hopkins certainly wants to continue to make that name for himself. What an opportunity presented to him here.
Now we've got to keep an eye on this right here, Russo. It looks like Chandler Hopkins may have tweaked his knee on that dive to the outside. And maybe that could be the target that Mike Anthony could be looking for. And right there, Mike Anthony is targeting the leg. Could that have been a mistake to go to the outside that quickly?
You hesitate to call anything that Chandler does a mistake, but Mike Anthony is that prototypical 5-tool athlete. If it's not speed, it's power. If it's not power, it's mind games. Going right for that. He was supposed to put in the water, Kirby.
And now you've got to imagine that the scales have completely tipped in the side of Mike Anthony. And right now, Chandler Hopkins trying to fight back. And one thing that we can't question by any means, as we've seen from Chandler Hopkins, is the heart that he's got.
Hey, he's just a good old boy. I mean, there's no different way to say it there, right? But it's hard to fight when you're on one good leg at the moment.
We're going to have to figure out if Chandler Hopkins is able to do so, if he can continue fighting on that one leg. And you've got to imagine that his biggest weapon in his arsenal, that 6-star shooter off the top, if it's going to be compromised, can you even go up to the top rope if your leg is injured?
No, it's one of these things. You know, Mike Anthony trained, got his start in professional wrestling at the Dog Pound. We're talking about WWE legends Rodney Mack and Jazz. You want to talk about pit bulls? That's what Mike Anthony is right now.
That pit bull mentality is what's carried him so far in his career. As you mentioned, former Memphis heavyweight champion, and now Hopkins is trying to take that down as he's able to keep up, but look at that. The damage on that leg clearly visible, and I don't know if that was very smart to get up that way. Maybe it's just the adrenaline pumping.
This ain't the first or the last rodeo, all right, that Chandler Hopkins has been in, especially in this dire of a situation.
Chandler Hopkins right now is getting caught up in all kinds of positions that he doesn't want to find himself in. You saw him right there pointing to referee MJ Bell, telling him, I'm not giving up, don't count me out on this. He is reaching for the rope, Russo. He is just inches away.
Oh, no.
But Mike Anthony, oh no, he not only pulled him back, but he got that grapevine in the center of the ring. How is Chandler Hopkins gonna get out of this?
Grit, determination, everything that a Texan is known for. Listen to the crowd, the Road Nation, willing Chandler Hopkins to the rope.
He's getting closer. He's right there. He's just fingertips away, and he got the rope. Mike Anthony not letting go of the hold. Referee MJ Bell telling him he's got to the count of 5, and he finally does it to not get disqualified. You talked about that pitbull mentality earlier, Russo. That right there just showed he would not let go of that hold, just like a pitbull.
We're almost reaching levels of disrespect. Oh my goodness, the genetic dream, no.
Almost there, the genetic dream was countered. Chandler Hopkins, he caught him up. That's how he won his last match, did Mike Anthony here at Reality of Wrestling.
Oh man.
But now going right after that knee once again. And Mike Anthony able to break free. This is all about becoming the #1 contender for the television championship. And right now, Mike Anthony, ran right into that knee. Chandler Hopkins, he's calling for it. I think he's gonna go for the 6-shooter.
Chandler's gonna be able to get up on 1 foot?
Chandler Hopkins up on the middle rope, up to the top. And now, into the drop zone. Chandler Hopkins, 6-shooter, connects. 1, 2, and that does it.
Here is your winner, the Young Gun, Chandler Hopkins!
The Young Gun is now the #1 contender for the television championship, Russo.
You're dealing with a former professional bull rider. No matter how dire the situation might look, Kirby, Chandler knows how to ring them. In fact, can we take a look at the replay there on the finish, our replay cam brought to us by Replay Games. 1 foot, doesn't matter. All it takes, Chandler to get up there, and you see the beautiful 6-shooter landing for that 1, 2, 3. Look, I did see that. Woo!
That right there is what we call Lone Star Grit, ladies and gentlemen. And now that Lone Star Grit is our #1 contender for the television championship.